Hello,
Hi.
welcome. We are now day 3, week 3, looking at compassion itself, Tiferet of Tiferet. So we are going to examine the intensity of our compassion. If there was no limits, like as yesterday we focused on discipline and strength, today it is compassion that is limitless in its natural
It's like the exact
state. Yeah,
opposite of
yeah,
discipline.
the natural state. Um, It is not an extension of your needs and defined by your limited perspective. Compassion for another is achieved by having a selfless attitude, rising above yourself and placing yourself in another's situation and experience. The first question, am I prepared and able to do that? If not, why? To put yourself in another situation. I think that can be hard only if they're really opposite you, like maybe politically or gang culture or something like that. Like it can be really hard to be like, well, that's not even right in the first place. But no, like to really try to imagine this is how this person lives. This is how, like, because I was talking to my brother about this recently about gang culture and the idea that this is all around them and this is what they know. This is how you advance in life, is like to make a hit or something like that. This is how you get friends and keep your friends, and everyone, this is how you hang out and be social, is with drugs or something like that. And so if that is all you know, then it's very hard to get away from that.
Yeah.
Just the same as like if all your friends play video games and like you feel bad because you're not that good at gaming, like then
Called me out.
yeah, then maybe
You guys are all
you're gonna
solid.
always feel somewhat insecure because everyone else is better at the games. Like maybe you don't like the drugs, but all your friends are doing it, so those are all the only friends you have in high school, middle school. It's hard to make other friends, so like you stay with the people that you know, even if it is bad. So that's one way that you can, or that I understand, that I can stand in their shoes
Yeah,
and start to understand and be compassionate for them.
It's this idea of if you can just see what knowledge it is that they have and then limit yourself only to that knowledge, then you understand why people make the choices they make. And compassion is important, like having that ability to be able to step fully into somebody else's shoes. It's part of what helps me see humanity like across the board when it comes to all different people who like, may be anti-Semitic or people who may say really hateful, heinous things. I still see them as human. I still see them as human, and I still recognize that there are choices that they are making that they have to make, and there are choices that they're making that they don't necessarily have to make, but those are the ones that they think are best.
This is what they were somehow raised with, and it's really sad. Like I was really sad with the Charlottesville shooting. That was like 10, I don't know, 15 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Just the idea, because I was like, this is a kid that's about like our age, and somehow like learned Nazism and hate and stuff, and didn't understand or wasn't taught, or maybe was taught history, and like that, things didn't go down the way they were supposed to, or something like that. And I just felt so sad for that. But it's like somehow this kid grew up in this environment that this was okay, and that you have to shoot people different from you and whatever, and like it was just really sad, but like that's the only way to understand it, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I watch people make choices in my life, and I think there's no way I could ever make those choices. And then maybe I get into a situation that's somewhat similar to that, and I go, well, I can see how they made that choice. Like, I can see where they chose that. And I don't necessarily want to choose that. I won't choose that. But being able to see that has really opened my eyes to the type of compassion I can have.
Yeah, just to learn that this is what they were raised with. What about, does my compassion come from a sense of duty, or is it frivolous?
Oh, mine is frivolous. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say it like that. Like, there are some cases when I'm like, no, I have the duty because I have the privilege. I have the duty to be compassionate. But most of the time, especially as a kid, it's really easy for me to just like be someone else, in the sense that like I can step into their shoes and really understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, like with
So-
my donating that I used to do on GoFundMe that I was really good at, I need to get back to, that was, I guess, maybe frivolous. I don't feel like a sense of duty to that. It's just something I want to do
Yeah.
as a way to make myself better, like, and get used to donating more. But so it's like, I guess there's compassion in that, but sometimes in this, the kind of thing where you never know the impact you're going to have on someone. Like, so you held the door open for someone, and like those, I don't know, those email chain stories that used to exist,
Yes.
where it's like, I held the door open for someone, and then that weekend he like was going to kill himself, but he came back. I don't know if these were any real stories. I just always remember this one. And so it's like, okay, all I did was just an act, like a small act, and to me it was just like an instant action, maybe just like, oh, I'll go hold the door open. I don't feel a sense of duty for it. I just feel like I'm gonna go do it. I'm right here by the door. But so maybe it's not such a bad thing, even if it is frivolous.
Yeah.
Like sense of duty or frivolity, like it doesn't seem like, as long as the compassion gets done,
Yeah.
I think that's what matters. Because really, our actions are like do speak so much more than our words.
That's just something that's really important in the Jewish tradition, so it's important in Kabbalah, is this idea that what we do with our actions, it holds more meaningful weight in like creative ways. So when I say creative, I don't mean like creative, I mean it creates something, it does something. So because it manifests that way, it manifests our intentions. Even if our intentions aren't in alignment with our action is more important. Actions lead way to intentions in the Jewish tradition, rather than intentionality leading way to action.
Yeah, because you could grudgingly be holding, I'm just fine, I'll hold the door open, no one else is doing it, and be like grumbling the whole time, but meanwhile other people are like, thank you, as they pass by, and that's all they see. They don't see you. I mean, maybe if they're like, they see an angry look on your face or something.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we talked about this briefly with like the levels of tzedakah,
yeah,
the levels of giving charity. Like if you give charity begrudgingly, you still get the credit for giving charity, but you didn't do it in the highest level you could have done it. And the highest level is going to be like willingly not knowing who the recipient is and the recipient not knowing who you are. Like that's the highest form of charity. And then like the lowest form is like giving to somebody who recognizes it, that you're giving it to them, and you know who you're giving it to, they know who they're receiving it from, and you're giving it grudgingly. That's like the lowest form, but it's still a form of charity, and that's something that I think that the secular world could stand to learn.
Yeah, just that idea that because you did it. And like it's funny because it's like as I get older, everyone talked about like, oh, the thought is what counts as far as gifts, and like I'm learning that's so true, because it's like it's so nice when a relative actually sends me a card for my birthday. Like they didn't get me a gift or even send money, but the fact that they sent a card or even called me, like, because none of my relatives ever do that except for my immediate family. So if it was like an aunt or uncle that did that, I'd be like really happy.
Okay, I'm gonna get you a card for your
yeah. But it is like the small action that counts, and everything is compassion, I guess. It's like because you put someone else's needs in front of you, even if you did it grudgingly. One last question. How do I this is like multiple questions. How do I express my compassion? Is it beautiful? Is it well-rounded? Does it contain the other 6 elements of Tiferet? Is it well-rounded?
Well, I mean, is it disciplined? Is it, you know, is it
from a place of personal dignity? Like I'm not putting myself out by doing it. I think, yeah, normally. Like I wouldn't go out of my way to like do something for someone if it was going to put me in danger.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. I would go out of my way to do something if it was going to put me in danger, but I'm just strange that way.
Well, like if somebody, is saving someone from the train tracks and the train is oncoming, I'd probably only do it if I knew that person really well, or if I actually saw that I had the time and I was aware of my own speed and strength.
Yeah, I should, but I know me. Like, okay, so I've taken a lot of first aid classes, right? One of the first things they say is that, like, you need to assess the situation and make sure that it's safe for you before you, like, add to the problem. And in every, like, enacted form of that we've done, I always just run to help before I assess the situation. And then my instructor's like, you made the situation worse because you didn't notice all the other things around you. And I'm like, yes, thank you. And I don't know how I'm going to fix that. So I'm still working on that.
Okay. Your compassion. Maybe we go back to yesterday. And
I need some discipline in my compassion.
Yeah. All right. Exercise. Express your compassion in a new way that goes beyond your previous limitations. Express it towards someone to whom you have been callous.
Ooh, someone to whom I have been callous. Does that mean I have to be callous to somme first?
I know. I'm like, I haven't been callous to anyone, like, recently. There's people that I kind of avoid talking to just because I don't really enjoy them at work or whatever, but like
passionate towards them. Like I still give them what they need.
Yeah, like I'm never like horrible to them. But so it's like I guess I could say hello or something like that, maybe to someone that I don't normally say hello to or something. That's an easy
Yeah,
thing, I guess.
find somebody that you don't normally say hello to because you avoid them, and say hello to them.
Yeah.
That's the way we're gonna do it.
All right. Thank you. We make things
Tiferet
simple.
of Tiferet.
Bye.